Hi, welcome to Father John's Coffee Break. So what I'd like to talk to you today is the Bible. So there was a pastor, and he said to the congregation, he says, now I have some homework for you for next week. And the homework is to read chapter 17 of Mark. So next Sunday comes, and the pastor gets up to give his homily, and he says, now, hands up everyone who read chapter 17 of Mark. And a few hands kind of went up. And he says, very interesting, he says. There's only 16 chapters in Mark. I better hear confessions afterwards. So what I want to talk today is the Bible. So what Bible do you use? It's quite an important question. It's the most sold book in the world. And so you want one that you're comfortable with. And you want a good one. So how can we tell what's good and not so good? So if I take an example here, it's John chapter 2. And in the Good News Bible here, it says, 2 days later, there was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. So that's what that one says. Now, if we go to this one, it says, on the third day, there was a marriage at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Do you notice the difference? This one is trying to make nice English. This is what John wrote. On the third day. Now, for Christians, that's very significant. On the third day. What happened on the third day? Jesus rose from the dead, new life. And so it's giving you a clue. Watch out, something's going to happen here. It's building in little clues. And so the Bible is full of those, but we have to kind of watch out for them. It's so easy to read over that. On the third day there was a wedding feast. But we're missing the point. On the third day. Very significant. That's why it's good to have a good translation. And so our Bibles, they're broken up into nice chapters and verse, and so there's spaces and it's all numbered. Unfortunately, the guys who did this hadn't got a clue how it was written. They broke it up into, what they see sort of was, nice paragraphs and things like that. It was actually done by two guys. One guy split it up into paragraphs and that, and then another guy came along and numbered them. But it's become so ingrained now in us, we can't change. And so they didn't understand how it was written and how they make paragraphs. And because if you go to the New Testament and you get a copy of a scroll of the New Testament, what you find is written in capital letters and not a space between any letter. It's just one continuous flow of letters. So how do you know what's a unit? How do you know how it's broken up? And a guy called Achtermeier, these German scholars are fantastic. They really analyse. And what he noticed was, and he called them brackets, that you start off, like here you have the wedding feast at Cana, and then you read on, and then he comes back to Cana again. And so that's one of the indications that Cana to Cana, that's a unit. Okay. And so what happens in that unit is new life is given. And so it starts off with the wedding. What's the symbol of a wedding? Wedding is new life, new life. And so immediately after the wedding, he meets three people in quick succession. Nicodemus, a full Jew. The Samaritan woman, half Jew, half pagan. And then the centurion, full pagan. And so he's giving life to all these people. That's the John's way of showing that the new life is going out to these people. And then he comes back to Cana again. And he comes across, as he's coming into Cana, there's a funeral procession. And he stops it. And because he has pity on it's this widow, and her son is in the coffin. And he has pity on her. Why does he have pity on her? Because in those days, a woman depended on her husband to look after her, to sustain her. Husband's dead, she's a widow. So that responsibility falls on the son. Now the son is dead. Who's going to look after her? No one. She's going to be destitute. So Jesus has pity on her and he raises the son. And so that whole section, new life. And so it's these little clues that you have to tie into. And so this is why you need a good translation of the Bible. In the Synoptics, after Caesarea Philippi, where Jesus asked the disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" And some said John the Baptist, and Elijah, one of the prophets, the others said, "But who do you say I am?" And Peter says, "You're the Son of God, the Christ." And and after that, there's a little phrase, real throwaway phrase. You wouldn't notice it. And it says, "On the way." And then you get a section on discipleship. So that little phrase, "on the way," always opens a teaching on discipleship. And so it's all these clues are built in there. And that's why you need the good Bible to have a good translation of it. And so another thing I kind of look for when I look for a Bible is Psalm 23. "The Lord's my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want." And so there's certain phrases that captures us, how certain things are phrased, especially some of your favourite readings. So, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul." And so so that's another thing to look for. So what is a good Bible? If you want to be really good, you get the Jerusalem Bible to read the Old Testament and the RSV, Revised Standard Edition, to read the New Testament. But most people aren't going to buy two Bibles. This is one of the best ones. It's the Oxford Annotated Bible. It's an RSV. And so one of the things why it's called annotated is, if you see here, it's got all these notes. Every page has numerous notes about the translation. What, it could be in what the Aramaic says, in Aramaic, Kephas, Greek, Peter, means rock, prophets, altar. It gives you a lot of information. It's one of the best Bibles, but of course, like all things, it's the most expensive. And so so to get a good Bible, so one of the things is always look at John 2. the wedding feast at Cana. Now, do they translate exactly what John wrote? It's so that's important, and also the translator, because every translator has his own way of translating how they put a phrase into English, and everyone has a different style, and so you have to pick the style that you like. Now, when you read the Bible, you need to also read a commentary to give you an idea of the culture and a bit of the background. Now, there's very inexpensive commentaries. They're called commentaries. So this is this is a small one. It's only that thick, and so what it has is the scripture up here, and then the commentary down here. It gives you an idea what this is saying, some of the background and that. And so they make these, one for each book of the Bible, and then you can get more elaborate. And so this is one I like. It's by N.T. Wright. It's like it's John for every day, Paul for every day, and again it's the same thing, but the commentary is more detailed. And then and then up here, each one of these, so it's a series, and the Sacra Pagina, and so this one is all Luke. It's all about Luke, and then if you want to go to the Gospel of John by Raymond Brown, Raymond Brown is the Gospel on John's Gospel. So Raymond Brown, it's a two-volume work, and 900 pages in each volume, and so and he really goes through everything in minute detail, and he gives you bibliography and everything. He parses each word. One of the things Bible scholars do is they take a word and they see how it's used in other places to get the sense of it. And so that's what Raymond Brown has done here. He's looked at those words, but he goes into real detail about different things. And so it's these again are expensive. You know, there's a very good one, Barclay. Barclay has a series. I used to have the whole series at one time, but people borrowed, and I don't have the series anymore. It's they were very good, and it was cheap, which was good, and but they were very accessible, and it was very readable. That's a big thing. That's a big thing about the commentaries. That's one of the reasons I like N.T. Wright. His work is very readable, but he gives you a good bit of meat. It's not all gravy, and that's what you want in a commentary, is some meat that you can get your teeth into, and not just all kind of gravy and that. And so so that's the Bible. Now, if you really want to go for a commentary, this is the one, the Jerome Biblical Commentary, and this is a commentary on every book in the Bible, and it's quite detailed, and there's some great essays in the back. So on the Old Testament and the New Testament, and so this is a great resource, and it's but it's not for everyone. It's there's another good book, The Gospels in Parallel, and so what they've done is he's spread the Gospels out, and he puts the passages side by side. So you have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and he's put them side by side so you can see where they are. and how they differ, each version, how they differ. It's an interesting book as well. So the so the main thing is to read the scriptures. That's the big thing, and there's nothing beats reading the scripture and sitting down and praying about the passage. Now you can play Russian roulette with the Bible, and what that is, you close your eyes and you go, and then you read the passage. And so you can do that every day, or you can systematically. As long as you're reading the Bible, that's the important thing, is to take a passage and let it kind of dwell with you all day. That's you can't beat that at all. So that was just a couple of comments on the Bible, and so enjoy reading.